Alba, I loved hearing your stories. You are an inspiration to not just our prospective students, but our current students as well as new grads. And I would love to hear more about your experiences, but I also think that in terms of what we can do to help build the SAF2S LGBTQ community would be super, super easy. Something that would be super easy to do, and I know that you've mentioned it before, is like some of the case examples for our course curriculum. Super easy to change them to same-sex couples from either common law or even just a normal married couple, because tax implications are exactly the same. So, and I believe you had indicated that there was, in your undergrad, there was only ever one case example, right? So, as someone who is very passionate to help build the 2S LGBTQ community, I would love to continue to work with you to help make this happen within SAF. But for the time being, what tips or advice would you have for aspiring professionals as they navigate through some of these difficult conversations or challenges in terms of whether they're struggling to find safe spaces or struggling or considering whether or not they should come out?
Yeah, thanks, Patty. So definitely would love to continue working on the queer community, building that at the SAF with you too, and thanks for being willing to champion that. And then going back to your question on advice to students, my biggest piece of advice would be find mentorship, whether that be mentorship within other students at the SAF, like upper year students, whether that be people in your workplace or your co-op experiences that you trust, whether these be people that you meet at events like ROM or out on Bay Street in the community. Find the mentorship that enables you to have a mentor who you can have conversations with, who they can share their stories, you can vent to them about your experiences, and you can vet your ideas with them and bounce ideas back and forth and get another person's perspective on the challenges that you're facing or areas that you want to grow, because mentors, more than likely, they have different perspectives or they've already lived it themselves. So that was something that I didn't realize the importance of when I was in first year, and it was only as I moved into second year, third year, and fourth year, and I became a mentor myself, that I realized that, hey, you can be really intentional about developing these mentorship relationships, and you can let conversations flow naturally. And for myself, the mentorship experience was really life-changing, because I didn't realize how much time I spent being insecure about conversations, you know, like, am I gonna get backlash for coming out? Like, how do I navigate challenging conversations? Like, what if clients respond poorly to me? What if this holds me back in my career? When I could have talked to a mentor who is further out in their coming out journey saying, yes, like, you know, like, that fear is present, but generally day to day, like, it's all right. Like, generally in Canada, like, the spaces are inclusive and people are very supportive. So I spent a lot of brain power worrying about that when I could have chatted with somebody further down the line. And it's not just those parts of ourselves that we can bring to mentors. There's, even for non-queer students, everybody experiences challenges. It's just a natural part of developing and growing as a professional. And if you're not facing challenges, like, you might not be in the right role, because you want to continue that lifelong learning and that improvement. So any current, future, prospective student, any professional, business, non-business, queer, non-queer, definitely encourage people to find those mentorship opportunities.
Mm-hmm. I think it is absolutely so important to not just have that mentorship, but also to have those safe spaces to be able to vent, to be able to talk through things. Because as someone who is queer, you're not just coming out once, you're coming out multiple times and throughout your career, throughout your lifetime now. And to have and to know that you have a network of support, to have those resources, to have that mentorship, to be able to empower yourself and have that confidence to know that you can be your authentic and true self is absolutely so important. And I want to make sure that we as an institution, and specifically within the School of Accounting and Finance, that we are providing those safe spaces and we are providing that support, the mentorship through alumni, but as well through our staff and other upper year students and potentially also faculty members to provide to our students so that they are and we are helping them to build that confidence to be their authentic and true selves. So thank you so much, Alba, for sharing your experiences and being so open and transparent about your experiences as an example for other students to know that it's okay to be yourself, to be your authentic self, and that there are networks and there are support and mentors. You just, unfortunately for you, you had to find them yourself. So we're hoping to build that community so it's not so difficult for our own students to find.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And thank you so much, Patty, for inviting me to do this interview and giving me this platform to talk about the issues that queer students face, because if you don't talk about them, you might not know, right? It might not pass your mind unless you have queer friends or talk about it in certain contexts, because it's not a topic that really comes up naturally. So more than happy to come here, share my experiences, because I'm sure that hearing something like this when I was in first year or when I was in high school would have been really inspirational to me. So more than happy to talk your ear off endlessly about this. If we have to have more conversations, happy to do so. And if you have any students who want to get connected, please, more than happy to have that conversation with them as well.
So Victoria and I will absolutely be connecting with you because we are passionate in terms of wanting to create that safe space and creating that community for 2S LGBTQ students to know that they could either come to us or know that SAF has the resources and the networks and the mentors to help them. So expect additional conversations.
Amazing.
Additional conversations, and for us to connect with you to help collaborate and build that community and a robust community for SAF and hopefully for the University of Waterloo. So thank you again, Alba, for spending the day with us and for chatting and catching up. Loved hearing your experiences and loved hearing where your academic journey and where you are at now.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.